The story begins with a teenage boy named Jim who absolutely loves watching films. Right before he starts one, his mom walks in unexpectedly, causing him to suddenly panic and freeze. As Jim's father walks in, he hears the loud cry of a woman coming from the TV. At school, Jim's close friends are two guys named Kevin and Chris. Everything shifts once Stifler becomes part of their group and invites them plus Paul to his party, teasing that hot college girls will be there. Before exiting the virgin gym, they nervously discuss what sex feels like and how to lose their virginity. At the party hosted by Stifler, attractive college girls are already hanging out. Kevin and Jim are drinking beers, laughing, and flirting when Sherman suddenly arrives and loudly declares he plans to sleep with a guest. Vicky, Kevin's girlfriend, leans in closer to him. At the same time, Jim catches sight of Nadia, the most attractive girl at the entire party. Nadia smiles warmly at him, and he returns the smile. He attempts to go talk to her but stumbles awkwardly and ends up walking away instead. Chris is sitting in a car with one of the pretty college girls, who gently explains how to treat women respectfully. Kevin, on the other hand, makes a move on Vicky, but she stops him, saying she isn't ready. Stifler suddenly appears, completely clueless about what's going on, and mistakenly drinks from Kevin's cup, which he had prepared earlier. Not long after, Stifler feels nauseous and vomits, clearly grossed out by the whole thing. Later that night, Sherman, still his nerdy self, calls Jim and Kevin to brag about a girl he claims he hooked up with. The next morning, they find Sherman downstairs with her. Sherman, both proud and excited, announces he lost his virginity and feels like a true man now. Jim and Kevin are doubtful, especially Kevin, who's been trying with Vicky for months without success. Kevin proposes an idea to Chris, Jim, and Finch. They'll all make a pact to lose their virginity before graduating from high school, no matter what it takes. Chris decides to join the school choir, which is full of squeaky clean students. Kevin, Jim, and Stifler sit way in the back, uncomfortable watching Chris fit in so easily. Chris tells them he's after a specific reward. Meanwhile, Paul grabs attention by golfing on the school lawn with the choir girls. Kevin doubts his method, until one girl shows interest. Kevin later calls his older, wiser brother for some help pleasing Vicky. His brother advises him to check the library and find a book or manual that could offer guidance. A girl casually asks Paul if he's got a date for prom, and he keeps it vague with a simple no. After choir, Heather compliments Chris on his performance, saying he did well. Chris tells Heather he'd like to know her more personally. Meanwhile, Jim heads home and notices a fresh pie his mother has just baked sitting on the kitchen table. He imagines the pie as a woman and starts fantasizing about it. While he's mid-act, his dad walks in and catches him but remains calm and doesn't get angry at all. His dad reassures him it's totally normal for someone his age. After a game, Chris sees Heather waiting nearby on the sidelines, clearly hoping to talk with him. She compliments his athletic skills and asks him to prom. Right then, Stifler shows up and starts dancing seductively as a joke, trying to get laughs from everyone. Chris laughs along with the others, but Heather is left unsure about him. Later, Kevin tries the tornado tongue move on Vicky, leaving her stunned and in absolute bliss. Nadia asks Jim for help with her history work and says she'll come over the next day. Meanwhile, Heather sees Chris laughing at Stifler's joke and cancels prom plans. Jim tells Stifler that Nadia's visiting, and Stifler pushes him to set up a webcam so everyone can watch. When Nadia arrives, all the guys gather to see the stream. As Nadia begins undressing, Jim bolts to Kevin's place, screaming in excitement. Meanwhile, Nadia finds Jim's stack of magazines and begins pleasuring herself out of curiosity. Jim races back but stops outside his room when he hears her crying. Suddenly, Sherman calls to say the webcam link was accidentally emailed to all of East High. With the whole school watching, Jim walks in and surprises Nadia, telling her it's only fair that she sees him strip now. Jim starts undressing, not realizing the livestream is still active. Before he can do anything, Nadia asks him to play with her instead. Jim finishes too early, leaving Nadia visibly let down. He tries to make it better by saying she's even more exotic than any model, but it makes things worse. The next day, everyone at school is laughing at Jim. He doesn't understand why until someone mentions Nadia flew home already, leaving him to wonder if he's just hopeless with girls. Every time Jim talks to a girl, it ends badly. Feeling defeated, he asks quirky Michelle to prom, and to his surprise, she smiles and agrees without hesitation. Chris stops by his dad's workplace and runs into Heather. She apologizes for how she acted, and he offers to make her a hot dog while they talk. They chat about what majors they're thinking of studying after school. Chris tells her he'll have to skip the singing contest because it clashes with his lacrosse finals. Heather says she'll support him no matter what choice he makes. Even though she's a bit down, Chris goes to the lacrosse game but feels disconnected the whole time. Realizing he doesn't care about the game, Chris walks off the field during the championship to perform the duet with Heather. The rest of the team returns to regroup with the coach. On stage, Heather stands waiting as Chris walks in and kisses her. They sing playfully, hold hands during the final note, and receive thunderous applause from the cheering crowd. Elsewhere, Vicky tells Kevin right in front of Jim and others that she wants them to stay together. Kevin is left completely stunned by her words. Prom night begins, and students rush to get ready. Inside the school, Kevin and Vicky dance beautifully, while Chris and Heather share an intense, romantic moment on the floor. Jim, on the other hand, doesn't seem thrilled to be dancing with Michelle. Kevin reminds them all of their pact to lose their virginity before graduating. Tonight must be the night. But Jim and Paul have both lost interest in the pact, which leaves Kevin feeling isolated and frustrated. To make things worse, it turns out Sherman's entire story was completely made up. His girlfriend grabs the band's mic and announces, for everyone to hear, that she has never actually slept with him. Humiliated, Sherman ends up wetting himself in front of the crowd. Kevin's voice is quiet and full of disappointment as he walks off with Chris, Jim, and Paul to attend Stifler's party. In the end, Kevin decides to follow through with the original plan. That night, each guy experiences something different. Kevin takes Vicky upstairs into one of the bedrooms to be alone with her. Chris and Heather enjoy a calm, romantic night by the lake. During their chat, Chris admits that while he once wanted to lose his virginity before graduating, her feelings now matter more. At the same time, Stifler's hot mom walks up to Paul and asks why he doesn't have a date. Paul shrugs, says he came alone, and pours her a drink with a grin. Their flirty banter quickly heats up. A little tipsy, Paul leans in close and tells her that he finds her incredibly sexy and irresistible. She pulls him close, and they end up having sex right there on the pool table. Meanwhile, Jim tries hard to stay tuned into Michelle's constant stream of chatter. He never expected her to be so bold, but she reveals a surprisingly wild and sensual side. The next morning, Stifler goes searching everywhere for his mom. He opens a door, steps inside, and freezes in horror at the sight, then immediately passes out. And just like that, our movie comes to a wild, unforgettable end. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next video.